Okay. Show me.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for another episode in my Airplane Sunday series. Yeah, and as you can see, this time we've got ourselves a jet. Yes sir, we're going high speed this time. It is a Dynam Meteor and it's an EDF RC jet. Cool stuff. And yeah, I came across this one at Banggood, and I'll have a link in the description to it obviously. And yeah, a very interesting and nice, sleek looking jet in my opinion. And in this video I'll show you what comes out of this box. And then I'll put it together and then I'll give you a recap of that build. Now there are some specs on the box, let's have a close look at those. Alrighty, a wingspan of 910 millimeters, and it's actually longer than it is wide. That's pretty common for jets, I think. It is 1100 millimeters long, and all up weight, flying weight, is also 1100 grams. It has 5 servos in it, 9 gram servos. And it flies on a 2600 4S Lipo, and in this plane I'll be using this here Lipo. I was ordering things this plane, so I searched for a Lipo at Banggood, and these are new Lipos from Banggood, Charson 2.6 amps 4S. So we'll see how that works out. It has a new style of XT60 connector and a protector for the balance connector. So the very nice Lipos, and actually all the Charson Lipos come with a strap, so that's nice. And I'll be using this here receiver, an FR Sky receiver, and it is 8 channels, sorry. And it is a fast receiver. I'll be flying this plane with my Futaba radio. Okay, some more specs. It has a 3000 kV outrunner and it has a 70mm EDF, which is good. I think 70mm is really what you want in a jet like this, I think. Okie dokie, let's have a look at the parts of this plane. Okay, let's start with the wings, and as you can see, it's a one-piece design. The two wings are in one piece. You can see the servo leads, which obviously means all servos have already been installed. 4 leads for the 2 ailerons and for the retracts, and that's actually an improvement of over the first version of the Meteor. This is kind of version 2. The first version didn't have retracts. This one has retracts, and you can see those retracts if I flip it on over. Servoless retracts, as you can see. Very nice. Foam wheels and metal struts. That looks pretty good. We'll have to see obviously if they hold up. And over here you've got a carbon spar, and there's another spar running almost to the wingtips, from here to there, and well, it's molded in, as you can probably tell, and it is glass fiber, I think, looks like it. And the wing with that those spars feels quite stiff, so that's pretty nice. Servos have already been installed as well, with some protective covers on them, and you might argue that well, is that important, those covers on the servos, because you'll be landing the plane on its landing gear? Well, with these covers you could opt to belly land the plane. If for instance you are flying on a field that doesn't have a nice landing strip, you can opt to belly land this plane. That's very nice, I think. Okay, what more can I tell you? Yeah, all the leads have already been pressed in. I'll probably cover up this center section with a bit of tape, but yeah, not much to do. The wing section slots in at the back with this tab, as you can see, and there's a little screw hole at the front. There are two more screw holes over here, and I assume those hold on to the EDF unit, because if I flip it on over again, here in this groove the EDF unit will be seated in. And yeah, I'm not completely sure. Here are the two screw holes, so they don't really, well, I guess these two screws will clamp everything together better. So that's actually a good thing. They could have just gone with the one screw, I think, but this stiffens the plane up a bit more, so that's nice. The next part is actually the biggest part of the plane itself. As mentioned, it is 1.1 meter in length, and it's already been glued together. It came out of the mold in two pieces, and you do get a pilot figure with the plane, which will fit in over here, and you also get a canopy there. I'm not sure how well it shows up in the video. It's a clear Lexan piece. Now this plane, I wouldn't call it a really scale plane. It doesn't have stickers, decals on it from any kind of squadron or something. It's just an EDF jet meant to fly nicely, and I'm all for that. Generally scale planes don't work as well as planes that have been designed from the ground up to be RC planes. But, well, again, obviously I haven't flown this plane yet, but what I meant to say is I'm not completely sure if I want to keep this canopy clear, because there isn't much of any detail. There's no dashboard or anything in the canopy, so I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll just black out this cover. We'll see. Okay, so you can also take this hatch on off. Let's see what that looks like. It is magnetically held in place at the rear and a tab at the front, and then you see you see part of the landing gear, the front landing gear, and some wires that we'll have to tuck away a little. And oh, the plane actually has two straps already for the Lipo. Here's where your Lipo will sit, and at the rear you see a Dean's connector for the Lipo. I'll have to change that out for an XT60. And if you flip the fuselage on over, you see at the front the landing gear, retracted obviously at the moment. I'll show that when I've built the plane in its outboard position. And over here you see the air ducts, and the EDF unit is not installed yet, because over here you see the 60 amp ESC. The servo leads from the tail will come in from the rear over here, and you'll have to tuck those underneath the ESC. So this white bracket piece that holds the ESC down, you'll have to unscrew that, pass the servo wires underneath the ESC, and then strap the ESC down. And obviously at that point you can install the EDF unit over here. So yeah, so far this looks just fine. Again, I'll build the plane in a minute, and then we'll see if I ran into any problems with that. On to the last two major pieces of this aeroplane. The horizontal stabilizer and its two elevators. And the vertical stabilizer and a rudder. And I'm actually pretty glad that this plane has a rudder. If it hadn't, I might have opted not to get this plane. So yeah, very handy to have a rudder. Now this is the actual top of the horizontal stabilizer. As you can see here, the servos have already been installed as well. Now I've seen a few videos on the version 1 of this Meteor, and there were some issues with the elevator control rod arrangement, that you had to cut some of the foam away to have the proper amount of movement. I don't see that issue with this one at all. Actually, I also saw some problems with the geometry, where the left elevator would move more than the right one, or the other way around. With mine, that doesn't seem the problem at all, so maybe they fixed that in this version as well. So, and over here, this is the rudder servo, the rear one. Here's the servo arm, obviously, and that arm will slot through this slot in the vertical stabilizer, and these holes will line up with these white tabs in the horizontal stabilizer, and then you can just screw it on down. So there's no gluing in fitting these two pieces together. That's nice. And how is... yeah, it looks like the horizontal stabilizer will be glued on to the fuselage. There are no screw holes or anything on this one. So yeah, that's I'll probably use CA glue for that. Okay, other than that, you've got a Lexan tailpiece, which will glue onto the rear of the plane. You do have some glue, which I'll probably not use. You get a spare EDF fan blade, that's nice. And you get the screws you need, the control horn for the rudder, and a screwdriver, an Allen key, and that is pretty much it. Then there is a build manual for the plane, build instructions. Yeah, not super detailed, but if you've flown a few planes, you should not have any problems with this. And an EDF jet you wouldn't, you shouldn't get as a first plane, I think. Well, maybe if you're very brave, you could try it, of course. But yeah, the build of this plane isn't complicated at all. A little bit of gluing at the tail, and most of the rest is held down by screws. So, and there is actually a manual for the supplied ESC, the brushless motor speed controller, as well, with things on how to set up the timing and calibrate it and such. So very good to get a manual for your ESC. And that's everything you get in the box. And at this point I'll build the plane off screen. Again, it's not a complicated build, so I won't be doing a build video for this plane. But give me a second, and then I'll come back with a built up plane. And there we go. We have ourselves one finished jet. And the build was pretty typical for a Dynam plane. This is my third Dynam plane. The build was easy, everything worked. The fit was also reasonable, not super. There's a little bit of a gap between the fuselage and the wing section. Maybe I'll come back to that, take it apart again and see if I can make the EDF unit fit in a little more snugly. But I'm 100% sure it would fly this way. I did have to adjust the front wheel a little. It was steering a little to the left. Small things, and actually the thing that was the hardest to get on was this tail piece, the blue tail piece, that Lexan piece. That was a little fiddly, but well, if you take your time, that won't be a problem either. For now I've secured the canopy down with 2 pieces of tape, because I haven't decided what I'll do with that, if I'll give it some kind of color or something. Oh, and I did add a piece of tape over here to be able to take the hatch off. Other than that, no issues at all, everything works, all servos work as they should. So I am very much looking forward to taking this up into the sky. Now about that, the weather over here is a bit bad at the moment, so I hope I'll be able to fly this plane in the very near future. Be on the lookout for that, of course. I'll have a maiden flight video just as soon as possible on this Dynam Meteor. And oh, if you are not subscribed yet, please do, helps me out, and you won't miss out on my flight video with this aeroplane. For now, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.